to plan for financial freedom. I love this conversation because I call it financial freedom versus retirement. Retirement is an agricultural word that means to put cattle to pasture to die. You're not a cow, you're not going to die. And quite frankly, Freedom Day is about having different chapters and stages of your life where you're moving through different financial or business development. And if you want to be an entrepreneur and a wealth builder, you need to learn it, and you need to set that goal appropriately. So to start off, I want to give you a free copy of my Millionaire Maker version 2. I want you to read up to chapter 3 where you're going to get a gap analysis. And in the gap analysis, we want to start showing you how to identify where are you today? Where's your baseline? What's the freedom way? What's your first goal? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it $10,000 a month? Is that active money? Is that passive money? And then how do you build into your next chapter? So then over time, 3 to 5 years, you can actually create a legacy for you and your family. Now, how do you actually get to financial freedom? I want to talk about a few things. First, I'll define financial freedom and how do you actually assess it and come up with the proper goal. Number 2, why income alone is not going to create that freedom. And number 3, how to plan specifically for freedom versus just hope for it. And so many people just have an emotional relationship with money and actually don't know where they are and just hope it's all going to work out. I don't want you to be those people. Some core things to think about. Freedom is math. This is a math equation, not a motivational equation, not an emotional equation, not a feeling equation, right? What's the number you want? If you want $10,000 a month, that's $120,000 a year. How much of that is going to be invested? How much of that are you going to spend? Most of the time, I can tell you that isn't enough. It's going to start that way, but it isn't enough. Just do more math. If you say, well, I want to be a millionaire. All right, so now you have $1 million invested at 12%. Is 120 divided by 12, you're still at 10,000 a month. So for every million is an easy math equation that I teach my clients. For every million, you can, done right, produce around 10,000 a month. So if you want 20,000, you need to be worth 2 million. If you want 50,000, it's 5 million. And even then, if you do the right investments, it could be passive. And some of you want to stay in active income. Like personally, I want to stay in active income for a very long time and let the compounding power of my money just go on for as long as I can. And acquiring that passive income, I actually just reinvest it back in the asset class. So those are money rules that you're going to come up with. But let's go on to talk about the definition. What is actually Financial Freedom Day? I'm going to read it to you. So what Freedom Day means is actually a choice. So I would say freedom's a choice. It's you're going to do what you want. It's not age-based. It's not, again, that retirement age. It's funded by assets, not a salary. In fact, the ultimate Freedom Day goal, I think, is when you have enough passive income to cover all your expenses. So any of the active income is just layers on more and more growth. So for me, when I work with clients, I want their first move to be have your passive income cover your monthly expenses. So if anything happens to you, you're covered. You have the money coming in and you know that it's available to you. And that's harder than you think. So many people think, oh, it's just easy. I can park my money and pray it's going to work. Good luck with that. Freedom also has a number. You got to know yours. And I find so many people have just a fear or back out of wanting to just declare, I want 10, I want 20, I want 50,000. And then on the other side, I call it fantasy island goals because you've never even made 100,000 or 500,000 and you want 10 million or 1 billion. You don't even know how to make the basics, right? So that foundation of how to make the first 100, 200, 300, 500,000 is essential to your skill set. Your active income, your active business is typically what funds your freedom. So for some of you, you're going to have a job. And we're going to encourage you to have a cash machine, a small business or a business that actually allows you to activate the tax code so now you keep more of your money. So you can have both, but a lot of our employees actually end up quitting or converting their job into a contract. Now they can work as a contractor for the company. So what sounds better? I have a $400,000 job or I have a $400,000 company? So, and you know the answer to that, and you know then you have to activate the greatest tax code. You get to keep more of your money, which means you have more money to invest. Why income alone is not going to create the freedom? Because you need the compounding power of money. So just grab a compounding calculator on the internet, don't care which one it is, and just play with some numbers. Like spend a good 30, 40 minutes just playing with some numbers. And so you want to put in and reverse engineer your Freedom Day goal. So let's just say today you can put 10,000 away and you can contribute 200 a month every month for the next 10 years, 20 years, however many years. And your average rate of return is say 12, and then play with that. Could be 15. What if it's only 8? What does that compound to in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? Can you get your number in that range? Now, all that being said, if your active income is something like storage units, plumbing business, HVAC businesses, trade business are so lucrative for so many people. The problem is that people age out of it because it's so physical. But if you put that money away actively through companies into assets, you can start your compounding power. So remember, a millionaire makes money and invests money and does the lowest basis of taxes they can get. So most people make it, spend it, make it, spend it, and they never break that pattern. They wonder why they can't get to their first Freedom Day goal. Is because you're spending, you're building a lifestyle before you build your assets. Build your assets first. It makes so much more sense. So again, I'm going to remind you, becoming your own company, having your company make the money, having the active income, that ownership will change the equation because it could be sellable. You could just sell the database. You could sell the entire IP system. Depends what you're building in your active business. On that exit, it could be lucrative. Now, I want to also caution you because I also have a lot of business owners who are making so much cash flow from their business to sell it and then replace, say, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year in new income. Where are you going to find it? I've seen it with storage units. I've seen it with RV parks. I've seen it with a lot of the trades business. There's a lot of businesses that a lot of you make so much money day to day. You get into your 50s and 60s and say, I'm done. I want to sell. Do you really want to sell? There's all sorts of ways that you can actually keep a tail, it's called, where you actually work for a year or two, but you consistently build cash flow that's coming from the business you built for your career, that you can consistently have cash flow for the rest of your life. So let us help you. And again, get into that gap analysis, send it in, and have a one-on-one appointment with our team. And we'd love to help you strategize your cash machine. And again, take advantage of those cash machine tickets. While you're here on the channel, though, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click the notification button. So 5 days a week, I'm in whatever device you're listening to, your YouTube channel and your YouTube education. Grab our journal. We actually designed a journal specifically to our YouTube channel where you can document what's the video that you're watching, what date, what was the topic, what'd you learn, and what are you going to do? I always ask those two questions. What'd you learn about it? What are you going to do about it? Because just learning without action isn't going to get you too far. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is how to plan for the Freedom Day number versus hope for it or guess for it. You just got to lay down a number. So call it $10,000 a month as a way to get started. But you got to have a number so then you can reverse engineer what's going to create that. So let's just say your active business makes you $50,000, $100,000 a month. You put a bunch of money into different assets, some percent of that, 10 or 20% into new assets. What's it going to take through your active income cycle, investment cycle to get back passive income to get to that Freedom Day goal? We'd love to help you organize that. The number is predictable. If you want to build additional income streams at round one, and so many people misunderstand multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income is extra revenue streams and extra areas of revenue inside of what you already know how to do it. It's not scattering where you have to have 5 different databases for 5 different topics. So my topic has been money since I was in my 20s. And it will be money till the day I walk off the planet. And anything related to money, I can talk about. So make sure that your multiple streams of income go wide around one thing, not get scattered. That's not the intent. And you got to track. If you don't track it, you can't control it. So make sure you're paying attention to your statistics from all the way down to how many leads do you get on the internet, how many of them convert, how much sales is that, what does that convert to in actual cash flow, minus your expenses, and really know your numbers, know your KPIs, we call them, your key performance indicators, so you know that you're on track to have what you want in the Freedom Day that you deserve. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.